interface controlled growth. Objectives of this talk is we consider the compositional range in which the growth is interface controlled, and then we shall arrive at an expression for a linear growth rate of a product phase. The growth rate is seen to be independent of time but depends on the temperature. The classification of the growth process is given in this slide. So the growth process can be thermally activated type, or it can be diffusionless type. So the initial process can be nucleation type or non-nucleation type. In the thermally activated type, the interface controlled growth process are examples are green growth and solidification and transformation of pure substance, recrystallization of deformed structure, and abnormal green growth. The diffusion controlled growth process are Ostwald ripening, order desired transitions, spinodal decomposition, recovery of deformed structure. A totally non-nucleation type of diffusionless transformation is a glass transition. Nucleation type diffusionless type of transformation is Martensite transformation. So besides the thermally activated type and diffusion controlled type of growth process, the growth process can involve both interface and diffusion. So then we call that the diffusion, the rate controlling factors are both interface controlled as well as diffusion controlled. Then we say that the growth process is complex under complex control. Examples of this are paletic transformation and discontinuous precipitation. Interface controlled growth. If the growth of product phase is controlled by the velocity of atoms moving across the interface between the parent and product phases, and diffusion either of the phases occurs almost instantaneously fast, then the growth is called as interface control. Allotropic transformation in metals is an example of interface controlled growth. The phase diagram of figure A, the region where it is possible to get such a transformation upon cooling from T1 temperature to T2 temperature is area 2. In the actual case, we have C0, which is greater than T0. So consequently, that is what is here. So at T0, we have got, this is the composition, C0. So this is the CT0. So consequently, cooling is performed in area 1 of the phase diagram. In this case, the transformation alpha to beta can proceed only by nucleation growth, and the nucleation driving force is given by the segment PQ here. So this is the free energy curve for beta, and this is the free energy curve for alpha. So consequently, at this is for a particular temperature T0, T is equal to T0. So consequently, the free energy of alpha is more than the free energy of beta. So consequently, alpha must transform into beta. The free energy which drives the transformation of alpha into beta is given by Rs. If it is the transformation is controlled by nucleation and growth type, then what we have to consider is at this C0 we draw a common tangent to alpha, and where the point where this common tangent is cut by C beta vertical, this is the point P, and from that point you drop a perpendicular onto the free energy curve for beta, so that is a PQ, and this gives the magnitude which is the nucleation driving force for formation of beta from alpha by nucleation and growth type of transformation. In figure C, the composition profile and the position of the interface alpha and beta is depicted here. When Ci interface composition Ci is equal to C0, the growth of a beta phase is interface controlled. In the case of allotropic transformations, phase B is rich in component A, and the interface moves with the diffusion of B atoms from phase B to phase A. Consider the case where the growing beta phase has the same composition with the phase alpha. The composition is in the area 2 of the phase diagram. In this case, since there is no change in the composition, growth takes place under interface control. Growth rate depends on how fast the atoms cross the interface and move from one phase to the other. The growth process is thermally activated. The variation of free energy across the interface is depicted in the figure on here. So this is alpha phase and this is beta phase. You have got interface between them. You can assign certain thickness for the interface here. Across this interface there is a barrier for atoms to change positions from one phase to another position, another phase. So the free energy of alpha phase is this, the free energy of beta phase is this, so consequently alpha is consumed and then beta is enhanced, the amount of beta is enhanced. So the driving force for conversion of alpha to beta is given by delta G beta alpha, and delta G star beta alpha is the energy barrier against nucleation. Energy barrier against diffusion across the interface. The free energy change due to the movement of one B atom from phase alpha to beta across the interface of thickness delta is delta G beta alpha. The flux of B atoms from alpha to beta is J alpha beta is equal to N alpha. So now what we are considering is surface area perpendicular to the interface, and that area effectively is A, and then number of atoms per unit volume is in alpha phase N alpha, and N beta is the number of atoms per unit volume of alpha and beta phases. So you have got the same concentration on both sides, but the crystal structures are different, so consequently N alpha and N beta are different. V is the dBA frequency, so consequently the atoms have to make a jump across the interface. So atoms are in constant motion, so the frequency of they have got the atomic motion has got a frequency which is called as a dBA frequency, which is typically 10 to the power of 13 hertz, and A is the accommodation factor. It may so happen that a particular atom make a attempt to jump across the interface, but for the growth of the other phase to grow, what we need is there must be a slot in on the interface side of the growing phase. So that is so consequently, depending upon the structure of interface of beta, you have accommodation factor which defines how well the jump atom is accommodated in the beta phase. So the accommodation factor expresses the fraction of the atoms departing from one phase and finding a position in the lattice of the other phase. For incoherent interfaces, the accommodation factor is unity, while for semi-coherent and coherent interfaces, the accommodation factor is less than unity. So the net flux J is equal to J alpha beta minus J beta alpha. So the transition can occur from both sides. So atoms can jump from alpha side to beta side and beta side to alpha side. So consequently, the net flux is for the growth of beta is the rate at which atoms jump from alpha to beta to minus the rate at which the atoms jump from beta to alpha, and n alpha is equal to n beta. So here the concentration is the same on both sides of the interface because we are considering a electroweak transformation. So consequently, J is equal to accommodation factor into dBA frequency multiplied by n alpha, the composition of alphas on the alpha side, into exponential minus delta G star B alpha by KT. So multiplied by 1 minus exponential minus delta G B beta alpha by KT. So this is the barrier for the process which takes place at the interface. So for what we can do is for if delta G beta alpha upon KT is much less than 1, then what we can do is we can expand this exponential term by series. So consequently, so when you expand, this is approximately 1 minus delta G beta alpha by KT, so that J is equal to accommodation factor multiplied by the dBA frequency multiplied by G n alpha into delta G beta alpha by KT. So this is the driving force, and this is the term associated with the transition from beta to alpha. This is the interface barrier. The growth rate is proportional to the flux by the relation U is equal to J multiplied by Vm, where Vm is the molar volume and Na is the Avogadro number. So consequently U is equal to A in the this fraction. A is the accommodation factor in the numerator. In the numerator we have got these terms: accommodation factor into dB frequency and N alpha and Vm, and in the denominator we have the Boltzmann constant multiplied by time and then Avogadro number. So and then this delta G B alpha, so this is coming here, and multiplied by exponential minus delta G star beta alpha over kT. So this term is by virtue of the interface barrier for jumping. The mobility of the interface is alpha beta MB is defined as the velocity of interface under unit driving force. Suppose if you make this as a unit driving force, then mobility will become this factor A accommodation factor multiplied by the dB frequency multiplied by N alpha the molar volume over kT Na, and multiplied by exponential of minus delta G star beta alpha by over kT. So with this definition U will become mobility of interface, and so this has to be recognized to be different from the mobility of diffusion. Okay, so diffusing species. So this mobility is of the interface, and this is multiplied by delta G of beta alpha. This is the driving force for beta to be formed from alpha. So growth velocity depends upon mobility into the driving force. The growth rate varies linearly with the driving force, and the mobility of the interface varies exponentially with the temperature. The growth rate does not depend on time. Through the accommodation factor, the growth rate depends on the nature of the interface, whether the interface is coherent, semi-coherent or incoherent. For incoherent interfaces, A is equal to 1, and for coherent and semi-coherent interfaces, A is less than 1. If X is the position of interface at which U is equal to dx dt is measured, then X is equal to MB into delta G B beta alpha into T. Thus the size of the new phase increases linearly with time. So this is in contrast with diffusion controlled growth. So here, if in the case of interface controlled growth of the phase particle, the size of linear size of the particle increases linearly with the time.